it was a it's like
position for still and make that gank happen with the faceless lineup here?
why couldn't you?
I don't know. I
Has
feel
something
like Mirana's
changed?
only mid, right?
Well, I think this tournament we've seen Marana a couple times, and I've seen it actually be in like an aggressive tri lane
Okay.
once. I think for Envy. I don't know if it worked. No, it didn't work. That was the Rapier Marana game.
Oh yeah, that was on the verge of greatness, but it didn't
Eh,
quite.
desperation Rapier, but it was nice. It was interesting. It gave him an opportunity to potentially win the game, even if that potential was small.
Right. I mean, do you think that that's something that they're going to be going for here on Faceless? Again, it's we've been seeing a lot of different strategies. So
Yeah,
it could be anything.
this is the first Faceless game I've had the opportunity to watch. I
Oh
feel
my
like
goodness.
I've pretty much the other stream, and
Hmm.
we haven't really covered any Faceless games, or even I think we maybe covered one, but I think I was absent like game or something. So it'll be nice to see them. It's funny to see that Nyx is still getting a first two ban against Faceless because I feel like the last time I was playing Dota professionally and I played against Faceless, I was banning Nyx as well. So it's still kind of been like a staple ban against them for the test of time.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's a hero that I play. This is always also going to be the struggle of this game because you can see here sponsored by Ice Ice Ice, and then Ice 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 has his own name on it as well. But we'll get through that, I'm sure. But yeah, that's a hero that we've seen prioritized to ban him out. Also, the Magnus taken out of the pool. Would love to see some type of way of going back towards I don't know, that Timber Saw that we always see, but doesn't feel like it might be the best matchup in this. Both drafts feel like the Marana Bane to me is very unique. The Slardar Jug is stock and standard for LGD Forever Young.
It's interesting that they picked Marana. I feel like maybe they have almost like a predetermined strategy.
Hmm.
Faceless is one of the teams that's kind of been struggling this tournament. Probably one of the weaker teams in Group A, which I know this team has like a lot of hopes. Like they really believe in themselves and they think that they can be a great team. I remember that they kind of avoided signing up for like like kind of bringing on like a big team as like a sponsor because
Oh,
they wanted to go to a couple events and really prove themselves and then potentially leverage a larger deal.
got it.
And unfortunately, I don't think it's worked out too well. It's nice that they're still here, and that definitely says a lot about their skill, to win the qualifiers in Southeast Asia and consistently be at all of the big events. But um, yeah, I bet they would like some better results, and they definitely have some top tier players, and they could definitely do well if they get their stuff together. So I think maybe this is kind of like a predetermined strategy because I don't necessarily love Marana into Slardar.
Hmm.
Because Slardar is almost like a soft counter to Marana lineups because you can put amp on and then track someone. So the Marana ult is pretty ineffective as a sort of like escape mechanism.
Yeah, and the other thing too, as I'm looking at this, and it's good to keep in mind, is that they are technically out of this tournament, or out of the chance at the top two seed, Faceless. So it feels like, does that change the way that you play or draft in the group stages at all?
I don't think so. I think that because they're doing so poorly that a couple of nice like a win like a 2-0 today over LGD for everyone could do wonders for their confidence
Okay.
and their kind of like ability to win Dota games to prove to themselves that they can do it and they can beat a team. And LFY isn't necessarily like I think they're actually doing relatively well in Group A.
Yeah.
I think that they're still in contention for a top two spot, which is even though Faceless doesn't benefit too much from beating them, but what they will get is a higher seed in Group A and face a lower seed from Group B in round one of the main stage, which I got to feel bad for teams in that kind of lower side of Group A. Like the
Yeah.
benefit of having the weaker group is that you can potentially place higher in your group, but when you place poorly in your group, you have to face kind of the better half of Group B, which is the entire Group B is very good. I think there's maybe like one weak team from Group B, and I even have a hard time putting my finger on that team. So
No,
Like, it's like
it's really strong.
yeah, people were guessing like NP would be the weak team, but their NP is like competing for a number 2 seed right now. So
Yeah, against all of those really, incredibly talented teams, and I think it's a testament to how deep the pool of top teams is right now, and
it's
how much
tough,
anybody can really win a game of Dota at any point in time.
as it should be though. There's
Totally,
there's
absolutely.
so much money in Dota, and there's so much money to be had that it would be a shame if there isn't like 25 like awesome teams competing to be in every tournament, to win every tournament.
Yeah. Well, Brewmaster now is going to come out for Faceless a little while ago, actually. We've been waxing philosophic about all the intricacies of the groups, which is also good to keep in mind. Silencer came out and then followed up by the Tinker Clockwork. Brew is something that Ice 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 has been running in the off lane, and I really like the changes that this guy got. You take a look at the Drunken Haze and how it works. 25 mana now, drops down to a 5-second cooldown, but really it's just that value point of the 70% miss chance. It's going to be so annoying for a carry.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. The question is whether or not he can actually get in lane to use it on the carry.
Yeah.
It's he's gonna have a silencer and a Slardar support most likely trying to zone him out from experience.
It does feel like it might be kind of tough. Do you think that in that case, it's pretty clear now it's going to be the Bane and Mirage support combo. Do you just like the idea of running in and finding kills up there in the top lane on one of those supports, or do you think you try and focus your attention towards the mid lane hero?
Well, Tinker's a very good 1v1 hero. He does relatively well against in like most matchups. He kind of actually wins. Very strong solo hero, so I don't know if they need to help him too much. Panda is a hero that they might actually need to help, and if they can maybe secure like a kill or two on Silencer, especially in the early game, Panda will have a much better time kind of getting started if he chooses to actually try and lane rather than do like the Iron Talon jungle, which I think is still a possibility. I imagine Panda with the Drunken Brawler is not too bad of a jungler overall. And the nice thing is for Faceless is that now they see that the entire lineup of LGD, they still need to pick their carry. And I think that if they can pick or find a carry that's good not only against Juggernaut and TA, but also that can like potentially solo up against Clockwork, it'll leave a lot of freedom for Bane and Mirana to put a lot of pressure on the map.
Lifestealer maybe? Is that
Lifestealer is an option. He doesn't match up super well against Juggernaut and TA, but he can't solo a Clockwork and he can't do very well there.
Yeah. It does feel like with those support combo that you have, you want to not keep them penned in just to one lane, where if you have somebody that's able to build that sustain, and a lot of the other heroes that would traditionally be there, that's a good one. That's a pretty damn good one.
Troll can do okay. I mean, he could definitely be left alone. But if Clockwork does get a little over-leveled, then Troll could potentially be in some trouble if he does get kind of isolated with those battery assault and the cogs.
Well, we're going into game number 1, Faceless versus LGD Forever Young. We'll see if they're going to be able to deal with what LGD are throwing their direction. And it's got to be said from LGD Forever Young side, there is a very clear way you take the fights. You either can jump in, Clockwork hook, and global silence, or Slardar jumps forward and crushes, and then TA to follow afterwards with a quick blink in. Do you think it's worth it for TA to try and rush a blink dagger, or if she goes Deso first with the timing follow, where you get the blink dagger about the same time as the Slardar?
I think that they probably have enough initiation and like lockdown and kind of control with Clockwork and Slarda for her to not go Blink Dagger first item.
Okay.
That being said, like a lot of TAs really just kind of prefer Blink first. They feel like it helps them farm faster, and with the not like necessarily new item, but like relatively new item of the the part of the Deso, the small part,
Blightstone.
Blightstone.
Yeah.
That is kind of like your kind of build up into Deso, so they just get that, and then they get the Blink and like an Aquila and Treads, and they feel like they have enough damage to kind of bring them into the mid game for them to farm up their Deso.
All right. Well, I'm very curious to see how this works out. Again, the strategy time added into Dota 2, and now there's that Street Fighter game going on. We're going to see another Street Fighter screen right here. Do you like that they added this in? Do you care?
I don't care, but I don't think it adds a lot.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're willing to be honest here. That's
Well,
great.
I mean, when I say I don't care, I mean I'm fine with it either way.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a little strange that I feel like there's almost like half a second of that screen is actually the in game.
Right.
Where I feel like if I'm spamming clicking, I can actually move, before that screen disappears.
Right, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That I don't like.
Okay.
But like that being said, it's like less than half a second, so it's not a huge deal.
Clearly the most
But it
important
could
thing.
be all the difference of you placing a ward and the opponent seeing you place it or not.
There you go.
So this Dota, it's a game of seconds. It's a game of inches.
Game of mile. Yeah, it's wonderful. My other favorite change, this happened right before the last TI, was they set it up so you don't all start in like a random clump, but they did it so you're in a line here. So when you have these pauses to start the game, it actually looks kind of pretty. You can take a little look and see at all the different arcanas and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you spawned in a line. I thought it was just random.
I've watched a lot of these starting pauses. They happen all the time. Man, look at that clockwork set. That's pretty cool. It's got a little miner. That's his hook shot on his backside as well. So early on, again, we talked a little bit about the way that these two teams are working, and it does look like there's a little bit of a bug here where we can't see the names of the teams. But this is over here to this side, LFY. They're still in contention, trying to get one of those top two spots. Faceless on the other side, they are out of it, but as you said, you want to start to try and build some momentum going into the main event. Considering what you've watched out of Group B, are you feeling like it's just pretty clear to you that outside of OG, it's probably going to be the Group B show when we get to the main event?
It's tough to say. I think that like Empire's been a big surprise in Group A. Wings is so like hit or miss these days. They could definitely put up some good games against the rest of Group B, and we are dealing with, once we get into the main stage, I think that they just like, it's first round's like best of ones. So
yeah,
who knows what could happen. Group A could definitely pull out some upsets. But I do overall think that Group A is a little bit weaker than Group B.
Okay. It does actually look like, as you pull up that Wikipedia article, that
yeah. So like the top seed of Group A might have to play against Liquid.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And Liquid's like, they had a bad day one, but then day two they went 1-1, which in this kind of format, 1-1s don't really yield you a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
The teams that are at the top have a couple of 2-0 victories, which have gave them those 3-point kind of advancements. So, I'd be pretty worried if I got like number 3 seed in Group A and had to play up against Liquid.
Yeah, because it's not as if this is a team that's just going to roll over dead when you get to the main event. If there's a team that could make a run out of the lower bracket, them potentially, depending upon what happens today, EG as well, those two teams incredibly consistent and capable of doing it. Honestly, all of those teams, I've been watching a lot of Chinese Dota, and Invictus Gaming and IG Vitality are both very talented teams as well.
Yeah, I think they went 1-1 against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they went 1-1 against each other, so who knows? Let's Faceless. Dun, dun, dun.
They just took that one game off of VTJ and the other one off of Empire, but outside of that, it's been a rough showing. Granted, they did play against Wings and OG, but yeah. I don't know. What's your read on Wings?
I think Wings has fallen off considerably since TI, but it's like a whole new patch and it's like a whole new game, so it's very different. And the TI curse is definitely real, and it's not necessarily a curse. And I've talked about it a little bit before in a couple of like content things that I've done, and it's actually something, but it's only something if you make it at that. So if you make it that, it's just once you win such a huge tournament and such like an enormous amount of money, it's a life-changing thing, right?
Totally.
Like, it changes your life forever, and it's something you'll never forget. And what I noticed the most after we won TI is that it was so much easier to lose at that point, whereas before I was so hungry to win, and losing was like painful. I hated losing, and after I won TI, I just didn't hate losing as much. It just was like, oh, like I realized that there was like a bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Wings is necessarily on the same kind of train of thought that I am, but there's a reason teams kind of fall off after winning a TI. It's just
well,
money changes people,
I think the big thing that you're alluding to too is that you looked at what their training regimen was like beforehand. I remember seeing a Reddit post and just how ungodly difficult it seemed, and that's what you need to do if you want to be the best in the world. And I'm sure you guys leading up to your TI run as well were in a spot where you work constantly, and it's every other team that's willing to work that much harder as well.
Definitely. And Wings was unique and cool because at TI6 they were so dominant. Like playing up against them and like being a captain and a drafter and a strategist, I had no idea what to do. I genuinely had no idea what they were going to pick, and I had no idea how to play against them. And all I could really do was like try to figure out what we wanted to do, and then hopefully Wings didn't just totally outpick me, which they just did anyway. So it's like it was tough,
Yeah.
very very tough.
And hard to replicate that type of success later. But now we're finally back in the game with two teams that, well, maybe they'll get their run eventually as well. Can dare to dream.
Yeah. I don't know. I got a lot of hopes for Faceless. I feel like they could make a run at some point.
Yeah.
If they stick together and keep working hard. I don't know very much about LFY. They have a lot of kind of newer Chinese players for me that I don't have a lot of experience with.
Yeah, LPC has been around for a while.
I only know Super and Jixing.
Yeah,
or
Jixing.
He played under a different name before, I think. Was he like ZX or XC or something from CDEC at some point?
XZ? No.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
I'm pretty sure that XC is a different player. It might have been an XC, though. There's so many of those Chinese players with
I
two
think
letters.
He used to be someone else, and he changed his name, though.
Okay, I gotcha. We'll do a little bit of research in the meantime, wait and see if that's the case. Black hanging out in the trees for the moment for himself. It does look like they are going to be, at least for the moment, sticking nuts into this lane while XY can start roaming around. Has the two clarities for Marana. Gotta say, I want to see Marana come back more into light as this position for hero. I feel like being able to take out hard camps and move around the map and make impact with an arrow, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I kind of favor the early game of LFY though.
Okay.
Because I feel like, yeah, Bane Marana is going to help them win a certain lane, but then the other lane's going to have way too many problems. But they're actually starting on totally different sides of the map, so the Bane Marana combo will not be utilized initially.
I guess that they maybe want to get the first initial wave in a good place for Faceless possibly, and then they'll TP out. But I guess Bane already does have a Sentry Ward queued up.
Arrow to the bottom.
Oh my god, they got him. Silencer in some trouble. He is going to take a lot of damage here in LPC. Well, body blocks were almost there.
So sad. So he was trying, did you catch it?
No, I did not.
He was trying to catch the archer.
Right.
So that way it wouldn't be in front of the creep wave. And just a perfectly lined up arrow by XY and just plunked him.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the kind of kill that we thought could happen with the Bane Marana combo, but they actually didn't even need Bane. You just hit the arrow straight up.
I mean, it's value if you can do it that way. And now Nuts can keep on harassing away in this lane as well. Mid, you're seeing jabs get pretty heavily hemmed in here by Super. Is this lane that difficult? Like, you can always laser to just keep the TA off of you, right?
No, Tinker's got a wave right here. He's actually winning the lane now.
Okay.
So I think it's actually this matchup's a little bit better than most heroes. TA can do decently well, but I still think it's pretty Tinker favored.
Well, the dodge away from that arrow. XY just throwing out these ones that if you do happen to catch Super at any point in time, it will heavily win the lane for you even further.
Yeah, it's a tough kill for sure, but anything kind of helps. And the Marana's already level 2, staying off the map. Clockwork's got to be super worried here pretty soon.
They did place one of these wards over here by where the rune is, so should be able to scout him out, although if there's a smoke movement or anything else like that, the initiation range is from ridiculously far away as well. But yeah, and you're also taking a look at the, just in general, the Troll, who's gotten 14-3 in terms of CS. And meanwhile, on the other side, you've got Ice Ice Ice, who's been able to frustrate this Juggernaut pretty heavily.
So that Drunken Haze just skilled up. Oh wait, he actually hasn't skilled it yet. Never mind. That Juggernaut Arcana looked like maybe he had Drunken Haze on him, but nope, it's just the little glowy effects.
Oh, Invis are in here. Super maybe in some trouble.
Not a lot of mana though.
They can't do it, yeah. Well, early game, certainly feeling as if the Troll Warlord is the benefactor of this. But you're still saying that LFY, they're going to start winning these lanes as the levels get up. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's starting to change right now as we can kind of identify what's...
Monet?
Ooh, yeah, watch the arrow. So what we're kind of seeing now is Faceless kind of shift away from the kind of heavy lane pressure and like winning, like, very much securing their lanes. Now Troll is kind of like totally solo top against a Clockwork who isn't necessarily a very under-leveled or anything. So this lane is kind of a wash, I think, at this point. And I think that they will continue to do fine in their safe lane, especially if they have all three heroes here.
Well, they're seeing like, Juggernaut can keep his farm up pretty effectively. There is still a lot of pressure being headed over towards mid lane. TA under fire pretty consistently by jabs. And now with the Bane rotating, there's a chance that they could get aggressive here. They always have to go on one of the supports, though, right? You can't try and set up for Jug.
I think one of the weird things that I identified early in this game is the Bane bought boots to kind of start the game and was really lacking in terms of like mana regeneration. So he casted a couple of Brain Zaps up top, and then he was out of mana, and he kind of walked around, and we saw him with that Invis rune, but he didn't really have enough mana to really achieve anything with it, which was strange. And boots are cool if you're doing kind of this like roaming Bane Mirana combo, and here we go. Here's a setup.
Yep, you're going to be able to get it. The DD rune on Mirana as well, and White stuck around just a little bit too long.
Very timely double damage rune picked up by Mirana there to spawn at 4 minutes. I don't think they could get that kill otherwise.
Well, Nuts is going to drop in return, so it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Still probably pretty even across the board.
Oh, it was some free farm time for Ice in lane. Jug was off the lane.
Okay.
Missing some creeps and stuff, so definitely a good move for Faceless. But yeah, like I was saying, the Bane went boots first, which is nice if you're kind of roaming a lot with the Bane Mirana combo, because Bane can catch, as we're going to see him catch mid here.
Caught him.
Arrow will come in.
Arrow onto Super. They're going to be able to connect onto it. No refractions in the least bit, and, well, a laser to finish it off. Nuts and XY, they make it work.
Yeah, and Jabs is actually leveling up March, so he's going to be farming very quickly. A lot of times we'll see Tinkers kind of opt to, surprise their mid lane opponents with like a rocket laser combo, but it definitely slows down their farm significantly. But he has managed to not only win the lane, but also have 3 points in March, so he is going to be very farmed this game.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool part of this little combination that you have with Brain Sap as well as the arrow coming in and, being able to set up on them. They don't need that extra burst damage from the rockets to secure a kill. We do have White in the top lane, potentially setting up onto Black. Don't know if he realizes that this is going on. The vision is not quite there of the Slardar.
Tough kill. Trying to sneak him into some cogs, I think. Yeah, that's going to happen right here.
Oh, they're there onto Black. Going to be able to crush. Battery Assault already leveled up. A couple more right clicks coming in. They are going to be able to eat through those cogs, though. And Black trying to run away. Stick charges as well. Turns to get out there, but it's not going to happen. In the meantime, bottom lane, they managed to kill off the Jug as well with Ice. So that's not a kill that's supposed to happen, right?
So I think it was a sleep arrow combo.
Okay.
But I think you can actually... Can you spin?
I could not tell you.
I forget the animation. There's something where Jug can spin, or like Lifestealer can rage, but they still get stunned.
Got it.
Maybe that's been changed.
I mean, all of those mechanics end up switching around also.
It's a really weird mechanic that never really made a lot of sense to me. So hopefully, maybe it's just changed. It doesn't. I mean, if you're slept as Jug and you get arrowed, you should just be stunned.
Yeah.
So that's definitely what happened, and just more potential from this roaming Mirana Bane combo that we're actually seeing be quite effective. Smoke here by them, but spotted by the ward. They saw even though they smoked in the Roche pit, they saw the kind of the puff of smoke.
Right. I'm just saying maybe needs to be careful here. The Bane is going to break it. They spot him out, and this is going to be another kill onto the Clockwork, most likely.
No, he leaped on the cliff.
He doesn't have any mana.
No.
This is actually a problem. Well, if he's able to get an extra 100 gold, he'll have Arcane Boots, but he's stuck up there now, and they're going to kill him off. Oh, that hurts.
Guys, team.
Oh.
All right.
That sucks.
Some Pepe frogs for him.
Definitely. Considering that they were able to find that kill on Monet, though, do you think it's worth it to stick a couple more supports in this lane just so they can wake up him in case of an arrow combination?
Well, him dying is definitely very bad. So having somebody here to possibly prevent that, but the thing is, like, is Silencer going to stop that kill from happening? Is Silencer going to stop a sleep arrow combo from happening, or is Silencer just going to feed?
Right.
They don't really have the best kind of answer to deal with it unless they also kind of tri-lane themselves. So in that way, like, the Bane Mirana combo is very strong, especially in the early game. I would say that Bane Mirana lack a lot of teamfight overall as heroes. And, oh, yes, that attack did not miss uphill, so they're going to get that kill.
They do find a follow-up arrow onto the Silencer, but there is not going to be anything after the fact. Nuts, in the meantime, over by the jungle, is going to be punished here and does have a brain sap trying to possibly turn this. Not going to get it off, though.
Close. Yep, but like I was trying to say, Bane Mirana supports, very good in the early game, very good at setting up these little pickoffs and getting nice ganks, but they are heroes that severely lack team fight, which is kind of what we've been seeing a lot of this tournament is, Earth Spirits and Warlocks and Winter Wyverns and Silencers, and these heroes that kind of offer a lot throughout the entire game. Fiend's Grip is great. Arrows can be, very nice as well, but these guys, if they get into a big 5-on-5 engagement, they might have a little bit lower impact than you would want.
Yeah. And, I mean, there was the answer of, like, a Mirana Aghanims, but that's damage. It's not necessarily the control, and that really feels to be what they're lacking. Maybe you get that through the Brewmaster ulti, but even that's somewhat questionable if you're going to be able to make the most of it. Top lane, Clockwork has reached his level 6 and almost has his hookshot off cooldown, so there's a chance he could hook to a creep wave, but there's just no way. He's super dead. So another kill going the direction of Faceless, and they've been sticking with it here, looking pretty good.
It's a pretty even early game, though. Like, very surprising that the game is so close.
Do you think that this plays more to one team's benefit over the other?
I think it benefits LFY because, like I was saying, I feel like they have the better team fight, and I feel like they probably have the better late game. That being said, like we talked about Tinker having such a good early game, Tinker could definitely take over this game and do very, very well. He's just got to worry about that Clockwork kind of spotting him out with the Rocket Flare. And here we have a Hook on top.
Nicely done. They're in on top of him. Nuts is they're gonna get the lift up there with the Brew split, and that will secure the retreat by Nuts. Still in a lot of trouble though. Silence can go for the brain sap to turn. He ends up getting it off that time with the Nightmare as well.
Too.
Staying alive, pretty well done. And Super now maybe in a little bit of trouble. Ice diving for this one, and Black is gonna be able to find him as well. That is going to be a kill. Now trying to turn on to LPC, but I think Black went a little bit too deep here. Actually pops the battle trance, turns to fight, able to find that kill on the Silencer. This team fight is developed. They're going to bring in another. Ice still diving. They finds the kill, but will pay for it. And it looks like now the Omni Slash. Oh, the Silence! He got invised.
Yeah, it was a risky Omni Slash. There was an Archer there. I think he hit the Archer twice, but even then, Troll did have the invis from Mirana. So a disastrous fight for LFY, and an amazing Panda play from Ice. That Cyclone onto the Clockwork really saved Bane and allowed Bane to get all of his spells off, which was huge.
Jeez. Well, and I was going to ask you this beforehand. It's sort of, I don't think super relevant now, but you do have a Hand of Midas coming out, interestingly, for the Juggernaut. But we can talk about that in a second. I guess the big question is, does that change the complexion of this game at all? Winning a team fight like that, now starting to get towards taking another tower potentially down here bottom.
Yeah, for sure. Silencer is still struggling. It's almost 12 minutes. He's not level 6 yet. Tinker is out of control at this point. Boots of Travel, Soul Ring, Bottle, 700 gold towards his Blink. And Ice on the Panda, he's not too far from his Blink either. So things are definitely going in favor of Faceless by quite a lot.
What do you think about that Hand of Midas on the Jug? It's a little bit of a different pickup than I think we're used to seeing.
Yeah. It's I mean, I don't like it for sure, but that's something that I've been hearing a lot about before I got here, and something we've seen a lot of throughout this tournament is Chinese teams and players really favoring that Hand of Midas. It's okay. I mean, Jug attack speed with phase boots is nice, but he's already got pretty quick attack speed, and he continues to get a lot of stack gain to agility throughout the game. So attack speed isn't something that benefits him too much. We'll see. I really like Helmet Dom, but they do have a Mirana, so maybe he's worried about his creep dying to Mirana arrows. I don't know. I think Helmet Dom is significantly better.
Yeah. All right, well, I mean, we'll see if it ends up paying off and gaining him value later on. We'll have a lot of levels off of it. And Jug is a hero that has some pretty decent talents. You know, he gets a lot of agi and attack speed and damage from stuff like that. Jusing, again, is scouting out nuts here. And there is a possibility, if not for a kill at the very... Oh, wait, no, that's a Radiant Observer or Sentry Ward. They turn. Monet is here. They're going to be able to kill off nuts. Maybe can run down XY as well, but yeah, leaps away.
Unless he gets the hook. There it is.
Oh, there it is. They're on top of him, and that will be a kill. So they take down that Mirana.
Some nice intelligence for Silencer. Building up that mana pool.
Heroes has been coming back more and more, I feel like, the Silencer.
Yeah, he's not bad. He works really well with these kind of hard initiation heroes like Clockwork, and then last night we saw MP play it with the Beastmaster. Global Silence is a huge team fight.
Oh,
there's our Omni Slash.
Mid, taking down Jabs. He is going to get nightmared, but still going to drop. No way out of that one.
Man,
so
they killed Tinker.
That's huge.
It was ginormous. How did... Yeah, Faceless messed up there big time. They were in such a good position, and then for Tinker to die like just to that, right? Like it was just Jug kind of just... Tinker just marched at the tower, and Jug was like, oh, look, there's a Tinker here. I'm going to Omni Slash and spin on him.
Yeah.
So definitely needs to watch his positioning a little bit.
Yeah, I think that Jab's there. And it's a hero, too, where if you do get out of position, all of the hopes and dreams right now of Faceless, there a lot of them, at least, in the hands of that Tinker. If he gives away a couple more kills, could be a quick game for him.
Oh, the net worths are looking not too shabby at all for LFY. Definitely back in it. Not that they were ever really out of it, but it was looking to be Faceless favored. And there's our Primal Split onto a support Silencer. Will they get anything more from it? There's ports coming in.
Yeah, they're going to be there. Monet shows up, has the healing ward down. They are going to be able to bring him down, but there's the Fiend script, and now they've turned onto that Jug. So Black dominating, looking to try and bring down White as well. They are going to still get the lift up onto the TA as well. Super finally comes out of it, not able to get that Nightmare off on himself, and the chase is going to continue. The right clicks are there, and soon to be the dead TA as well. Triple for Black.
Yeah, that Panda split is just too much team fight for them. They're just not ready for it.
Early Blink Dagger as well. It's feeling to me, do you really highly rate the Brewmaster right now? You talked about how important team fight is.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the strongest team fighters out there. I don't rate him that highly though, but he had such a good laning phase that he's kind of come online at such a time where LFY doesn't have anything to deal with his ultimate. Generally, like, you know, he can get kind of kited by like 4 staffs, and people, you know, can react with Blink Daggers or BKBs or something, but right now they have nothing. We saw the split there, and I was, you know, it went out to like a solo Silencer who was only level 6 and pretty short respawn time. I was surprised that they tried to engage the fight after that. They ended up killing Bane, but I think that was it. And Bane had like a full Fiend script on Juggernaut. I don't even think Omni Slash was up for that fight.
Oh man, and Nuts kind of a little bit of outplay. They're able to get the silence off. He is going to be punished in the end. So again, more into the Silencer.
For sure.
But Jabs, oh Jabs.
They found him.
Oh, that can't happen. The Blink Dagger is there from White, and that's going to be another kill onto him. They do manage to find the kill onto the Slardar, but that's a small consolation prize.
Yeah, Slardar's already got his Blink, so he's like, ah. Yeah, he's upset he died, but not the end of the world. This is kind of downtime right now for Faceless. They need to just kind of chill out, wait for that Brewmaster split to come back up before they try and take on any head-on engagements. So definitely some smart plays from LFY to capitalize on that small timing window. But here comes some ports. Panda splits up in 10 seconds. LFY is on full retreat, though.
Yeah, they're there. Arrow's going to come out from the Invis Mirana in a second, but they do drop the Global Silence. This is going to break that split coming out from Ice, and that does mean that now Faceless in a little bit of a worse spot. They get the Omni Slash off, which means the arrow does not hit onto the Juggernaut. White dropping low, but not going to die to this one, and now Monet is their Fiend's Grip onto the Slardar, who's already almost gone, but Jabs, he's going to jump in. They find it out with the laser. I don't know if he's going to be able to do a hell of a lot. Okay, maybe he is. Triple kill for Jabs. Yeah, he's a monster.
He is online. He's got that Blink Dagger, and he's got another 1,700 gold. That was, I didn't think they were going to take that fight. I think somebody was porting out. I think Jug was porting out, but then he canceled it.
Right.
And they just, somebody was porting out, and they canceled it. I forget who. Anyways, huge commitment there by LFY, and the fight went pretty well for them until Tinker showed up and started cleaning up. But Panda didn't even get a split off there that fight, which is why I think it kind of went almost even in the end.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that you use global. Panda doesn't get the split off, but even still, it ends up working fairly well. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence for the next couple of minutes for LFY in terms of their ability to take these engagements. Do you think you try and play more of a pick-off-oriented style and split-push game from LFY?
Yeah, you gotta play around this Brewmaster all until you have the right items to deal with it. And I think Super on TA has a okay, never mind. He had a Diffuse Akuda, but he's going for Deso now. That was a little strange. But he has a Blade of Alacrity, like he was going for something. It's like a weird item to have on TA.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted like a Manta for the Drunken Haze or the Troll like Mischance, I guess. But either way, like a really strange item pickup for him there. But I think like once TA is a BKB and Jug has a couple more damage items, then they can probably fight. But kind of taking any 5-on-5s right now is not the best idea, I think.
They're chasing G-Sing here. He's making a lot of space. Jabs will eventually find him out.
Oh,
although he actually...
He's got a blade mail.
What? Oh my god, no, Jabs! You did it to yourself. They get the deny from the Nightmare. But he chased down the Clockwork the whole time, trying to find him, and then ran to his own death. He is eventually going to get taken out, but...
Okay.
I don't know. That hurt.
Yeah. So they got the deny, which is... it's good and all, but... sucks to lose your Tinker like that. You're going to lose a lot of momentum.
Tia just ate an arrow, and that's going to be the brew split onto her. She is in a lot of trouble now. Super going to end up getting brought down. You did have the kill, LPC taking down Nuts, but they will still be able to chase down this TA. There's the crush onto 2. Maybe going to be able to find more. They lift up the Juggernaut with the Wind Panna and starting to bring down the TA. She is going to get the blink out before the arrow connects, and now the brew split is done. Monet.
He wants the Omni Slash, but Troll's too fast. Oh, there's the Sword Art stun, though.
Crush, there's a lot of creeps in the area. Not going to be able to get it, though. And Monet turned upon now as well. Super is still there. Can think about jumping in if they want. But they're going to call off the charge.
Not too bad of a team fight for LFY there. TA managed to live, and Split is now on cooldown. Not the best engagement, though, for Faceless. Trying to use that Panda Split and take a fight where your Tinker was already dead and your Bane was being initiated on and killed at the very beginning. So, very close to killing the TA, which would have been a huge kill for them.
Yeah, we did have also another Hand of Midas picked up this time around for the, or almost picked up for the Brewmaster.
Yeah.
Do you like that decision?
Yeah, I think Hand of Midas is definitely like a better item now than it has been in the past, mostly because of the Talent Tree edition. Getting to level I feel like most heroes levels 25s almost like change the kind of hero that they are. Like their level 25 abilities are so kind of influential on their heroes. They change some of their spells. They change, minus 40 respawn time.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, like very impactful. So Bane's gonna get picked off here again. Fresh Deso on Super. Man, that might be Roshan.
I think for this game, the one that really sticks out to me is always going to be the TA, those extra refraction instances. It's so hard to bring her down with that. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, absolutely. These are initiation, trying to find Tinker, and Panda's in with the split.
All right, they're already there on top of them. There's going to be a lift up in just a second here if they want to throw it onto Monet, but instead, just holding it up, they're going to be able to get the Clockwork there, and there's the pull down with the Dispel Magic. Global Silence comes out, though. They aren't going to be able to do anything in this fight, and they pop the Manta Style. Black gets out of the cogs. Now they need to go on full retreat mode. Do not want to take this fight any further. Ice is going to be isolated and taken down. Black also drops. XY able to find one. Well, no, they weren't quite able to kill off that Clockwork. So 2 end up going down with the brew split committed. Faceless are losing steam.
Tinker's no mana. Oh, Bane finishes them off, though.
All right.
But it looks like they are going to secure Roshan. So a successful fight for LFY. Panda split also used.
Yeah, I think that's, again, one of those instances where you don't really... It feels like the fights that they're taking are sort of... They're not able to go the way that Faceless want them to. I don't know what it is exactly, though.
I think it's that Tinker isn't really connecting with a lot of the damage.
Okay.
And it's tough because not only are you dealing with a Juggernaut who's magic immune and dodging your spells with Mantas and spins, but you're also dealing with Refraction on TA who's kind of absorbing missiles. So a lot of your damage in team fights is coming from March, and if he's not set up properly, which he wasn't, kind of for like the Roshan fight, he's not really getting a lot of damage done, and he has this, Blink 4-staff build, so it's like high mobility and high survivability for him. But he definitely needs to start maybe committing more and doing more damage. But it's tough when Clockwork's around.
So maybe once he gets that next item up, the Aghanim Scepter, that also can help to alleviate some of it.
Definitely do some more damage in a spread. Get the 4 rockets.
Well, in the meantime, Faceless, they're grouped up down here bottom, set to make another play. They don't have Moonlight Shadow for this, but they do have Fiend's Grip, as Jab's is going to be scouted out by that rocket. God, it's so freaking scary to play Tinker, I'm sure, against this Clockwork.
Yeah, Clockwork's playing well. He's landing a lot of really nice hooks. But like we talked about in the early game, I don't try and keep track of how many successful Fiend's Grips we see from now on, because I think it's going to be really tough for this Bane to play in this match. Not only is he dealing with constant stuns from Slardar, but all of the interruptions from Clockwork, but he's also got to worry about Global Silence. So he kind of just doesn't, he can't really Fiend's Grip until Global Silence is over.
Yeah. And it's also a problem where he's not going to have other answers. You can't just BKB and then Fiend's Grip either in this game if he ends up getting into that type of gold.
Yeah, if he ever finds that kind of gold, right. Which is a distant dream for a position 5. I have plenty of experience.
Fair enough.
Oh, this patch is very generous to supports.
Oh, Crush off the mark. Arrow not going to be there. I says he gets silenced right away though. Oh, a great last word comes in from the silencer. Now they're going to try and run him away. But now Nuts is in trouble. Double kill from Monet. Oh lordy.
Panda. He got into some trouble there.
Yeah.
Thought he had a nice little blink clap setup after Slardar kind of missed his initiation, but that pre-clicked last word came in. He saw him from the Slardar's missed initiation, saw Panda, immediately queued last word, and as soon as Panda blinked in, last word landed, he clapped, silenced, and then just died instantly to Omnislash.
That's nuts to me too, because you would expect that the cast animation from last word isn't exactly instant either,
It's pretty quick.
Yeah. That's fair.
As long as you're facing the right direction, it's pretty instant.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to turn much because he was walking towards the fight, and Panda blinked kind of directly into him. So definitely good looking out from LPC. Could have gone with the global, but he decided didn't need it that fight. Just don't worry, I'll just silence him with last word. That's all I need.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen that before, to be honest with you.
Well, we don't see a lot of Pandas and we don't see a lot of silencers, so to see that interaction is different, and you never really think of last word having that much of an effect. But if you manage to get it on Panda before he actually blinks in, almost every Panda wants to blink clap
right
before he ults. So definitely caught Ice off guard, I think.
Won't be seeing. I'm wondering if the next time around we just see the blink ulti. That's going to be an interesting tell of confidence, I imagine.
I think Ice will go for the clap again.
Yeah.
That was pretty unlucky.
Totally.
Definitely a high skill play from the silencer, but still a bit unlucky for Ice, I think.
All right. Now another movement down towards bottom. 4 heroes in the area, and they're showing the TA in the mid lane. So Ice not aware that this is coming his direction. Crush off the mark. He does blink back the other direction. TPing out. All right, he's out of there. That was pretty good.
Easy live.
I like the mind games too. He runs left, blinks right. Juke the whole team.
That's an Ice move right there. There's just there's certain players that kind of have that little flavor on their play.
Right. Would you check right for Ice?
No, I don't know. He's just a tough player to predict because the normal play would be to run left and blink left.
Right.
Never know.
And the Flare not scouting him out either there. It was right on the edge. So mid lane, LFY, they've had enough. They want to be the ones that take the fight. Mechanism is done for the Silencer. They have the Diffusal Blade done for the Juggernaut as well. Hurricane Pike on the TA is done. She's crazy farmed.
What happened to his Blade of Alacrity?
I don't know, man. You got to sell it, I guess.
He sold it.
Crush. They are going to back out now. Not wanting to take this too further forward.
He lost 5. Oh, arrow.
Oh.
All good. Tanked it for TA. Yeah, that's funny. He sold the Blade of Black. Oh, initiation.
Yeah, they're there on top of Panda. Going to be able to pull him back in. Doesn't get the ulti off. Again, the Cog's pushing him back, and finally is going to be brought down. Oh, and no buyback now for 45 seconds. That one hurts.
That was great, amazing kill from LFY. I cannot believe that Silencer just held on to his ultimate. He's like, Panda's not going to get this off. He like trusted in his team not to do it. And poor Bane's just sitting there like, Silencer, please cast your ultimate so I can play the game.
Yeah, that's nuts. I think
You're
it's
killing me when you say that, you know, because it's nuts is on the other team. I feel like the pun is too strong. It's too early. It's too early for such a strong pun. I feel like you gotta ease the viewers into the pun game.
You know, it was completely unintentional as well, but I'm gonna start saying it more now. It was super nuts. So yeah, we're here. The Silencer to me has been the standout player, at least in some regards. Are you feeling like it's been a pretty good performance from him?
Silencer's not too challenging to support the play. He's doing the one play on the right where he got the last word on Panda was super cool and super impressive. But at the end of the day, like he's just kind of chilling in the back and casting some long range spells on whoever's in his way. And he's got some nice frontliners and Clockwork, TA, Jug, Slardar. Open action.
They got him. Global does finally come out. It's on to that Panda ulti, and, well, they are going to be able to bring down one. Nuts is going to fall. Monet drops that Omni Slash, is almost going to be able to kill off Black, and he is going to end up falling. 3 are dead for Faceless, still looking to take down Jabs, but is going to be able to escape. And now, the last one left alive, XY on the base. That one hurt.
They killed all the Brewlings. The little baby pandas from the split. Ice didn't even come out of ultimate form.
Jeez.
The Omni Slash just killed everything.
Need that extra armor, level 25 talent.
Yeah, I guess so.
And now you're getting towards a situation where TA has an Orchid also. You mentioned that you felt like LFY's team fighting prowess was going to pull them through this, and it definitely seems to be that case.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of team fight supports. I think that's kind of where this patch is at right now. The Silencer is just proving to be... It's a position 5 support who's potentially having the highest impact on the game. By just the spell. Not his items, not his his amazing spellcasting ability. It's just like there's a fight going down, he hits R and
or doesn't hit R and has the threat of it.
Exactly. Like he can just wait on it. That fight he used it, but they actually ended up killing Bane first, so he didn't have to worry about it. So worked out well. Ugh, Tinker's D-pushing.
Yeah, he'll...
No. Please, have mercy.
That is the frustrating part, I'm sure. It's that.
They have decent high ground, though, if they manage to find a pick and start walking up a hill.
Well, Mirana ends up getting bashed mid-leap, cancels the TP, realizing that she would be brought down. Unfortunately, with the Diffusal Blade, there was never going to be an answer for her. So that's the type of thing that you sort of have to have happen in this game, I feel like, though, where you're pushing out these lanes and trying to keep them off of your towers.
Yeah, he's actually going for a Lotus Orb instead of the kind of general Aghanims build that we see on support Miranas oftentimes. Help them ramp up their farm.
You think that that's a pretty good decision in this game?
I mean, Lotus Orb is very good against Slardar. Probably one of their best items. So.
I guess also the global, too.
Yeah, that would be nice, too. Cast it on, Panda if he gets initiated on after Global Silence or something, but... Silencer is such a weird hero right now. I'm seeing this hero a lot, and I'm seeing it do very, very well because it's just kind of whoever gets the better initiation is winning, but LFY, if they don't get the best initiation, they almost have a get out of jail free card through this Global Silence. So the opportunities for Faceless to find opportune fights are very, very small. And even when they do kind of feel like they have something going, they just get globaled, and LFY gets a couple of seconds to really kind of recover and get their fight back together.
White ended up slithering Crush, I guess, before the blink. That was a little bit odd.
Yeah, he messed up.
Still they're on top of him. Counter initiation comes out. They get the global again, and now the Omni Slash onto the Brewmaster. He is going to end up falling. So the Brew ultis, which are there so strong in the early stages, have been punished now late game, and you don't have your Troll, you don't have your Brew. They're starting to move high ground, and with the Healing Ward, it makes it less bad going against this Tinker.
Definitely, Healing Ward, super good against Tinker. It's going to allow them to siege the high ground here, getting a lot of damage onto the tower. Have you seen Black's item build? Have you clicked over on Troll lately?
Yeah, you got a Satanic Manta.
What happened there?
Not exactly sure.
I've seen Black do some crazy item builds. This might be one of the craziest.
So what is it that's so odd about this item build?
Satanic is such a Satanic is like a 6th item slot. You don't, and it's not really a Troll Warlord item either. I don't know. I think he needs more stats and like just kind of general HP to deal with Omni Slash, and I don't know. Troll's a weird hero, but I'm almost certain that Satanic was not the item.
Well, we usually see like a Sanjin Yasha into a BKB or something.
Yeah, I think BKB would have been a great option. I think he got Manta to deal with potentially like the global sounds, but
Right.
even Troll's not really a hero that worries about global sounds too much.
I guess maybe it was his thought that you
Or
want...
he got Manta to deal with Amp from the Slardar.
Right, and then after that he needed an HP item, right? But didn't want to go BKB early because he thought he's not going to win. That's
Yeah, it's not an amazing BKB game just because there is TA Juggernaut and Slardar. But it's a tough game to itemize, but I feel like Satanic was like the worst of all of his options.
Okay.
Or I feel like it shouldn't have even been an option. That's how I feel.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, and nonetheless, it's also just been that it felt like these team fights, they haven't had the opportunity to even enact the game plan that they would have wanted. They've been constantly just caught out by the silencer. It's just been really hard for them to do anything.
Yeah. The trick of playing against silencer is to fight often and to fight fast.
Okay.
It's to, almost like if you can find him first, that's ideal.
Right.
But Faceless doesn't really have any vision heroes, so kind of isolating or finding opponents before teamfight starts is pretty difficult for them to do.
Now looking for a way in. Ice is
Double
still
damage from
there up
Juggernaut.
front. Oh, God, the Omni Slash immediately there. They do Manta it off, and it hits on the illusion, so that's a little bit of a better play now as they are going to be able to control and almost bring down Troll Warlord. Satanic, where are you at? It's not there. They're not going to be able to heal him back up. 60 seconds with no Troll, but they're going to start spamming out the rockets and the lasers now onto the Silencer and almost bringing him down with that Earth Panda Q, but didn't end up connecting, killing him off. TA still controlled. Monet going back in. They're low on mana, low on life. Tinker's shown up. They're getting the refractions off, but it's not enough. They still can't bring him down. This healing ward has almost had its full duration.
Healing ward's so good against Tinker.
And now they're just going to turn onto these barracks, and there's not really a great answer coming out from Faceless. They're going to turn onto XY, starting to bring him low. Those right clicks will finish him off, and Jabs trying to get the refracting laser to stop this push, but it was never going to be enough.
Bane Mirana, first two, not working out. Really just, as we've seen, the Panda kind of gave them some nice team fight in the early game, but once LFY had enough items to kind of handle that Bruce split, they just had nothing. And Tinker seems to be almost entirely countered by this Juggernaut's healing ward.
Yeah.
It's just, he shoots all these rockets, but the healing ward just heals everyone up.
Juggernaut's still quite a good hero in a lot of respects, and that's certainly one of the ways that it ends up working, your ability to just take a lane of barracks. So mid is gone and tier 3 down bottom.
Yeah, almost 2 lanes there.
So if you're Faceless right now, the game is obviously not over yet. It's getting closer. Thinking towards like what they need next game, do you just completely scrap a strategy like this if it's gone this poorly?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think picking Bane Mirana was a good idea in the first place, but I was interested to see what kind of almost like pocket strategy they had in mind. And the Panda was cool, and Panda did really well in the early game, but the Tinker was just so underwhelming for all the farm that he had up against this Juggernaut. So I would look for them to potentially pick maybe some heroes that are better against Juggernaut.
Okay.
Troll is kind of, he's okay against Juggernaut, but the thing is, like, the thing that makes Troll a really good carry up against other carries is that you can Whirling Axe as a melee and like provide that mischance. But Juggernaut's a hero that builds Manta.
Mm-hmm.
He also has spin, so he has 2 ways to like easily take off any kind of mischance, whether it's Drunken Haze or Whirling Axes. So, and Omni Slash obviously just ignores that.
Just another movement now in towards the
Faceless with the
space.
blink.
How often do you see that?
Not very often, but he's got a little swagger in his step as they are dominating this game at this point.
Yeah. I remember seeing, I think Ice 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 play the Clockwork Warrior where he went Hand of Midas, then like Radiance Armlet or something crazy like that. There's been some diversity in Clockwork builds. This one to me feels pretty cool though. It's like high mobility on a hero that's already super mobile.
That's the great thing about Clockwork. He doesn't really need a lot of items, and after kind of that Force Staff and Blade Mail, everything else is kind of luxury. So being able to get the pipe, increasing his tankiness, providing that aura to his teammates is awesome, but not necessary. And then having the blink, he just wants to get a little creative. Hooks on cooldown, he'll blink on top of someone in cogs.
Yeah.
So more mobility is never a bad thing in Dota. It just allows you. You'll see like the highest skilled players really value mobility items because they can do so much with them.
Yeah, it was like that OG game the other day. I don't know if you caught it, but they went 5 Force Staffs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
through like communication of each other. I think that they were playing against Meepo that game, right?
Yeah.
So they just, oh, Force Staff. Oh, I have the next one. I have the next one. It's something that they can coordinate and they can really almost abuse through good teamwork.
Well, 33-22. As time is drawing nigh for Faceless to either mount a huge comeback or possibly drop out of this game number 1. What's the dream team fight look like for Faceless here over the next couple minutes?
I think a big arrow onto either TA or Jug as they're kind of like sieging the tower or sieging the racks could give them an opening to kind of potentially do some burst, but that's like provided Silencer doesn't decide he wants to global and save him at that point. So
well, Ice. They're going to start it off in this fashion. Still a global to use if they want to do it. The lift up on the Brew. Okay, so they're not going to have global at least for a little bit now, but now the counterplay has come out from LFY. They're going forward. Global does finally fall super, dropping somewhat low. They've been able to kill him off at the very least. So one very core hero down, and Silencer now doesn't have an answer. They're there. They're going to be able to jump on top of him. They have been able to, LFY, take down the Troll Warlord, but you do still have buyback on Black if they want to take it. The buyback from the TA.
He's like, we're ending this game.
Yeah, they're going for it. They want to make this happen. There is still buyback on all these heroes except for Bane from Faceless, and they're going to buy back on the Troll now. Jab still in a little bit of trouble. Mane's able to get the Manta style off to run out and out of there. So they're hitting onto the barracks. Still a lot of damage being dealt out, but the healing ward is being so much value. Ice 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 has already taken down the healing ward, so maybe now the Tinker can start to get in those real deeps. There's going to be one instance of the laser. Jabs, he's silenced now though, and is going to end up falling. Double kill for Super. There's still a buyback from the Tinker, but it's feeling worse and worse, and this could potentially be it.
This TA and Juggernaut were just beasts at this point. They're so strong. Even with TA dead, they were just confident that Juggernaut could just handle all of them, and he did.
God, and well, there's going to be the pushback now onto Tinker. Jabs is going to fall. That's going to be probably the third lane of barracks in just a second. LFY, you said it was about the team fight, and they are certainly making it work well.
Yeah. Yep. I like their draft. I like their play. Laning phase was a little shaky just because of the Podum Bane combo, but they got out of it pretty even. I think that they were down maybe like it was like 5 to 4 kills at one point. But laning phase didn't go nearly good enough for Faceless, I think, to kind of merit that early Bane Mirana pick.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for game number 1. You can see here pretty good displays overall, I would say, from LGD, FY. Monet had a great game on his Juggernaut. This is a guy who's played a lot of Lifestealer in the past, and just those melee cores that like to get up in people's faces is what he's been running more often than not. Peter, any final words, thoughts about the game and what we might be seeing in game number 2?
I like LFY. I think they're a good team. I think they've got a good shot at potentially getting into the winner bracket, right? I think that they looked really good this game. I think that they handled there wasn't really any mishaps. They took one kind of bad fight mid where Panda initiated on Silencer and they tried to follow up, and they obviously weren't ready to fight, but they realized that and they just kind of bunkered down for a little bit and then fought when they were ready. So I think they've got their minds in the right place, and I think they're very poised to kind of take that 2-0 win here and get themselves 3 points.
All right, we'll be back in just a little bit with more from Group A action. Still a game going on, I believe, in Group B, where it's going to be the EG-IG show. But here we're going to continue on. See you guys in a bit with game number 2.